Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. Today we're talking about the Mitchells versus the Machines.
Mitchells, engage!
10 and 2. There you go. My daughter, listen to me! Mitchells have
So this movie is directed by Michael Rinada. I hope I'm saying his last name right. And then it's produced by Lord and Miller. You guys are familiar probably with some of their previous work, Into the Spider-Verse, the Lego Movie, things like that. And basically, so this movie, it focuses or centers around the Mitchell family. They're a pretty dysfunctional, family we get to see. And we see like the older daughter, her name's Katie, she's getting ready to go off to film school when one day, she's it's like the last day before she's going, gets into a fight with her dad. And she's like, this is the reason why, I'm leaving here, why I want to go to, to college. Because they kind of like butt heads. They don't exactly see eye to eye all the time. And so the dad decides to try to make things up to her. By the next day, he tells her that he canceled her flight to college. And instead, he's going to take her and the rest of the family on a road trip across the country to drop her off to college. What starts off, though, as a, road trip movie quickly escalates when a rogue or an AI decides to go rogue and quickly unleashes the robot apocalypse and threatens to destroy humanity, and only the Mitchells stand between them. So first off, the animation in this film, I think, is absolutely gorgeous. I loved the animation. Just like how the characters look, but the thing that really added to the movie for me was all the little things that we see like pop up around like the characters, the little like 2D animation. So for example, like the character of Katie, like when she, she's like thinking of like an idea, you see like this like little like light bulb will pop up beside her, or you'll see like these like little like gears on like the side and they're like cranking, as she's like thinking, just like little things like that. Or there will be like moments in the movie where there's like a slow motion scene and it'll kind of pause for a second and you just see all these like different like, graphics pop up like around it. It's really, really cool and something that probably one of the biggest things that stands out from this movie for me. There's also a lot to kind of add on to that. There's a lot going on in this film. There's, whether it's the crazy adventures that they get on when they're in the car, doing like the road trip or the robot apocalypse, or just like all the different graphics that I was just telling you guys about. There's like a bunch of like memes and stuff like thrown in there. So it's a very, very frantic movie. There's a lot going on, and I think there was a lot of chances for this to really go wrong and just be a total mess. But they somehow managed to make all of this work, and I absolutely love that. But I could see like some people being like, oh, there's like a lot going on. There's like crazy colors. But as you guys can see, as like, the shirt that I'm wearing right here, I love like the bright colors and stuff like that. So I think this movie, just all of that, the different things like going on really worked for me. I think this film, it really overall, it has a surprising like way more, I think, like heart than I thought it was going to be like going into this movie. I thought it was just going to be kind of like a fun, family adventure to a degree. There was parts like in the trailer where I was like, oh, there will be like, a little bit of like emotion there, but like way more than I was expecting. And, you pretty much, it focuses on like the family, but like really it focuses on like the relationship between the father and then Katie. Like I said earlier, they kind of like, butt heads, and the dad, he's a little too overprotective. He thinks that like his daughter's gonna like fail, going out to college and going for like film school, doesn't think that she could actually make a career out of this. So he's a little bit like overprotective and doesn't realize how special she really is. And that's really starting to, push her away, as we see like early on in the film. But by the end of the movie, Katie, she realizes that, he's really coming from a place of love, like overall. So even though family can drive you nuts sometimes, they're the ones that, usually they really always have your back, like as well. And they have like good intentions. And that's what this movie is kind of, it's all about. And it focuses on this family. Like, even though they all have their like little quirks and stuff like that, in the end, they all love each other and they have each other's back. As cheesy as maybe that might like kind of sound. But it was a really good message overall. And I think that, one that a lot of people appreciate. And yes, and definitely some tugging at the emotional heartstrings there for sure. And personally for me too, I really connected with like the character of Katie. I didn't go to like film school or anything like that. Although like looking back, it's like, I guess I probably like still maybe could, but that would be something that would be pretty fun. But like, even though I didn't go to film school, you know, just the fact that she was kind of, you know, she's a little bit of like an outsider. She was a little bit of like a weirdo, you know, growing up as a kid. And I can definitely, you know, relate to that as well. And just like her passion and love for movies, you know, obviously doing this YouTube channel, it's like, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't have a passion for, you know, for film and for stuff like that. So I really, really connected with like her character as far as like that part goes. So that was something that really drew me into like the film as well. I thought the comedy in this film too was done really well. I was pretty much, you know, laughing a good amount throughout. And there was like, you know, certain like sequences where, you know, they're poking fun of like our attachment to technology. I thought that was hilarious. But I will tell you guys, there is one particular scene in this film that involves Furbys that me and my fiance, we were actually crying laughing like at this scene. And some people maybe might not think it's as funny. I know I have like a little bit of like a weird sense of humor at times, but I thought this scene was absolutely hilarious. And yeah, I'm curious to see if you guys feel the same way. But there's a lot of like crazy stuff in this movie like as well. That was also funny.
Hold on a second.
What's a Furby?
I also really loved a lot of the Easter eggs in this film, and it kind of ties in, you know, why I love, you know, Katie so much because of like her appreciation for film. You know, there's tributes to like, there's one particular scene kind of leading up to the Furby moment where they're going into a mall and she's like, oh, this is just like Dawn of the Dead. And it even, you know, the mall's like all like kind of dilapidated because like the robot apocalypse, you know, it's abandoned and stuff like that. And they go in with their car. That was definitely like one of my favorite moments in the movie. There's also like, you know, Mad Max. There's Ghostbusters. There's even, I'm pretty sure, a tribute to Mortal Kombat involving like the mom. And I was like, I was actually surprised, like, some of the moments in this film, how far they were able to go, but they are able to get away with it, where it's animation and it's robots and stuff like that, but I was like, wow. I was like, yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all. So this movie is wild, crazy, and love those tributes to like those couple films. Oh, there was like an Endgame like reference too. I mean, I don't know if it was specifically going for that, but that's what I took it as. So I thought that was pretty cool as well. The villain of this movie too, like I said, is like a, you know, an AI gone like rogue, but it's actually, you know, it's like this like cell phone. And, you know, you hear that before like watching this movie and you're probably like, yeah, that sounds like it could be like kind of dumb. But they actually make it, you know, make it work. This character I thought was actually really like funny and like interesting. And for just being this like little like cell phone or whatever. And like I said, could have been something that was really dumb, but in the end, they somehow managed to make it work. And this movie, I mean, man, it has a ton of rewatchability. I watched it for the first time, came out on Friday, watched it Friday night, and I actually just rewatched it again last night, and I had just as much fun watching it the second time. So that's a, you know, a big thing for me too with movies, is just having that rewatchability. And this movie, I think you're going to be able to throw this in and watch it again over and over again. So yeah, guys, overall, I loved The Mitchells versus the Machine. You know, you really connected with this family, and you just go along on this zany ride with them from start to finish. It's action-packed. There's a lot of fun. The comedy really works. And yeah, it was just a blast for me. So yeah, I mean, you know, I really don't like ever give out, you know, like perfect scores usually when I first like see a film. But this movie is about as perfect as it can be as far as like a film goes, you know, first couple times watching it, and I might actually end up bumping it up to that 10, but I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Absolutely love this film. I really, even though it came out on Netflix, I know it comes from like Sony, really hope that it comes out on like, you know, Blu-ray, because I want to get that physical copy of the movie. Can't wait to get it, and yeah, can't wait to watch it again soon. So I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are of the movie down below. You know, definitely let me know in the comments. You know, do you enjoy the film? What was your favorite, you know, scene like in the movie? And if you haven't seen the movie, you know, is it something that you think that you're going to check out now? Let me know down below in the comments. If you are new to the channel, as always, please hit that subscribe button as well as the bell button next to it. That way you get notifications for all my new videos. Please also give this video a thumbs up. Really helps with the YouTube algorithm, you know, especially for a smaller channel like me. Really helps it against something, you know, these bigger channels. So I really appreciate that, guys. And as always, please make sure to check back for more Pop Culture with Pat.